Oh, hey, Jill here, and you're listening to Organized Chaos with Jill. I'm your host and mom of three, and this is the show where we chat all the mom things and then some. So grab your coffee or whatever it is that gets you through the day, and let's get to it. I am so excited, you guys. Today's episode is something that was like an idea in my head at the very beginning of creating this podcast. I mean, even when like this podcast was still a dream, I knew that if I was going to do the podcast, I wanted to do this episode. So I am super, super excited to be bringing this to you today. It is a topic that I have had a lot of conversations with other moms about, and a topic that I think is super important to get out there, not just during the summer, because I know some of y'all live in places where you're like in the water year round and whatnot, but we are talking about water safety / swimming lessons and all that jazz today. And I am super excited because for the first time, we have a guest speaker on our podcast today. I will be chatting with Tyler, who is the owner and operator of Aqua-Tots, which is where James currently takes swimming lessons. And William will be there soon enough, as soon as I don't have to be in the water with him. Moms, if you know, you know. So today, like I said, we're talking water safety. We're talking swimming lessons. As you know, James, my oldest, has been in swimming lessons since he was 10 months old. We are around water all the time. In the summer, we go to the beach constantly. My in-laws live on a lake. My sister-in-law has a pool. So pretty much whenever we're doing something in the summer, water is involved. When we first got pregnant, we kind of made a joke like our kids are going to be water babies whether they like it or not, because this is our lifestyle. So water safety and swimming lessons is something super, super near and dear to my heart. Super, super excited to talk about. And I also wanted to bring it to the table too, because I get a lot of questions out, especially when we're at the beach, because it's more of a public place. And my kids are in the water without floaties. They don't wear floaties. On a boat, we have a life jacket, absolutely. But other than that, they're in the water just as is. I mean, obviously at this age, we're typically with them. They're not be swimming out far or anything like that. But I get a lot of almost looks or like confused questions from parents. And I talk all the time about the swimming lessons and what we've learned. And so I just wanted to bring that to the table for all of you. So without further ado, let's dive into episode 14, water safety / swimming lessons, and let's chat with Tyler. Let's go. All right, so we are here with Tyler. Tyler, thank you so much for doing this week.
Yes. You are so welcome.
So pumped. This has been like on my mind forever. I know we kind of went in circles planning this, so I'm super, super excited. So we're going to dive in with just a couple questions that I've got talking to other parents, talking to friends, things that I think are important, and we'll go from there. So
Sounds good.
I know for us, I always joke my kids were water babies before they were even born because they didn't have a choice given our lifestyle. So I knew like from the jump, my kids were going to be in the water early.
Sure.
I want to know what age frame, time frame do you think is like the right time to get kids acclimated, aside from a bathtub, but like acclimated into water?
Sure. Great question. Thanks for having me. I know we did run circles. Excited to jump on and talk through some of these questions. I know you are a mama who is focused on water safety, so it's cool to chat about this. It really is. So for me, besides bathtub and early, water, experiences, we recommend really getting a kid in as early as 4 months. And the reason for that is in schools that are, pro submersion like ours, we work on stimulating the epiglottal reflex, which is like, we use this system of stimuli to kind of get the kids to engage that piece of cartilage, and they don't even realize they're doing it. But that can start as early as 4 months because kids are naturally used to, being in the womb, and they're surrounded in the womb. And they have that muscle memory between 4 and 7 months, and they will just naturally do it when they are put underwater. So that's why we recommend kids getting, acclimated to swim lessons or some type of formal training, or introduction to water and submersions as early as 4 months, because they can actually already do it. At 7 months, we have to start reteaching that, which can be done very easily. It's just a series of repetition, coming to lessons and doing that, can do that for you. But that's why we start them that young, because they can actually naturally close that piece of cartilage, and it will start with the engagement of submersions for being underwater, which is key. Is
Yeah,
key.
it's cool. I remember doing that with James when he was little and in
Mm-hmm.
the water when you guys like first opened, and it is really cool to see them and like how they do that. And I think that that's something, and I know I probably at one time felt it, and then I've heard from a lot of parents that like freak out when it's like you're putting your baby underwater, because of that reason and not realizing it. And I don't think I knew like the science behind it or like what reflexes
Sure.
were being used and whatnot, but that's really cool. So obviously, I guess it's fair to say the younger the better.
Yeah, definitely. And the good thing about lessons at that young age is a lot of curriculums are a lot of repetition and some stuff you can take home, and there's homework, and there's good parent objectives. You're learning things, you're learning the counts. So there's good takeaways on both sides that can make its way into the house for homework, if you will,
Yeah.
which obviously will even help more.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, having, William and Anna, I still take them into the water, even though they haven't officially started lessons. And I'm doing the
Hmm.
songs and the one, two, three, all these
Right, you
things
get
that
it.
are like just muscle memory at this point, singing
Yes.
all the Aqua-Tots songs.
Hmm.
So, um, that's awesome. So thank you. Um, I'm going to kind of switch around some of my questions
Go for it.
because it kind of goes into starting them at a young age. Like, I know that some parents are so afraid to put their, like I just said, kind of stick their kid underwater. Um,
Sure.
they're, they're afraid of their kids being around water in general. Or so I guess what would be something you would say to a parent that's like hesitant to start lessons or hesitant to even start them in the water?
For sure. I mean, part of the inquisitive questions I would ask is just like how is bath time going? How is water time at home going? That's always one of our first questions. And then from there, I always encourage them to try a class, right? Try a class. It doesn't have to be with me. I mean, there's a lot of great places out there that do really great work. There's a lot of places that are focused on water safety. I go try a class, and you can take it step by step. One of the good things about most early curriculums, our curriculum, you're in the water until with your child, or guardians in the water with the child until 30 months. But one of the good things about that is that you can go at your own pace, right? You can go at a pace that you feel comfortable with. No one's going to force you to do anything you don't want to do. So I would always encourage someone to try a class. Now, another side of that is like, what if the parent is fearful? What if this is a parent that is a non-swimmer? I would encourage that parent to make sure they're comfortable, right? Like temperature, depth, that type of situation. And I would also encourage the parent to look into getting some adult classes, wherever that may be. Because right, like nobody's too old to learn to swim. So there's two
Right.
sides to that coin. But either way, it's a go slow, go at your own pace type of thing.
Yeah, like because that was kind of one of the other questions. I know, I know adults that are like petrified of water.
Totally,
Have like a total
totally.
phobia because they never grew up swimming or anything. But
Normal. Like we see it all the time. It's and it my empathetic heart goes out, because sometimes it's met with like, oh, I can't believe I never learned to swim. It's like, what? I can believe it. I see people all day, every day. Like, you shouldn't feel
right,
bad. Like, you can learn. It's all good. Like, but fear, we'll talk about it probably later, I'm sure. Fear comes in tons of different ways, right? Adult fear is the worst, because it's been, could be
right,
40 years, 50 years, 60 years worth of fear, so you got to
right.
really break it
Because
down. Hmm.
like I think like I hate thunderstorms. Like deathly afraid.
Sure.
I don't know, they've always freaked me out, and I know like they can't hurt me when I'm sitting inside. Like a clap of thunder is not going to hurt me, but it's always something. And then when I was having kids, I was like, oh my god, I can't. I don't want to. Like, why can't I think of the word? I don't want to like basically project my fear onto my kids.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's
I
be
got what you're saying.
if they're afraid of it, I'm never going to be able to help them. No, but water fear, like a fear of water, I don't know the correct terminology for that phobia, but I know that it's a real thing. People that
Sure.
are afraid of the ocean or afraid of even just a pool or like, um, you know, not wanting to project that onto their kids. I guess I don't know if you've seen it. Like I know you said you've seen some where like the parents are scared or
Yeah.
coming into that like mommy and me class, parent and me class in the early stages, or is it something that you would just kind of say, hey, you could go take the opportunity to learn, but like the child doesn't need to learn right as a baby at that point? I mean, I don't know how you kind of navigate that. Like if I came in with James at 10 months saying I want him to learn, but I'm afraid to go in the pool, I guess how would you
Sure.
navigate
I
that?
mean, we in our in most, I guess probably most places do, in young curriculum there is two objectives. There's a student objective and there's a parent objective. So we can, adapt those parent objectives to meet that fear too, right? Maybe it's a slow roll. We do different types of entries to get into the water. Maybe we do, we start with the easiest one, work our way to the hardest one, which could be like a handoff. You hand off your kid to the instructor while you hop in. That could be tough. I mean, that could be a really a sign of progress when you finally get there. So we can slow roll the student objectives in the same way, or the parent objectives in the same way that we could slow roll the student objectives. And we would hope that, that's why we encourage anybody to take a class. That's another thing about water safety. Get the kids in at 4 months, sure, but not the same person every time. Everybody take a turn, right? Like anyone that's going to be in that kid's water safety journey should take a class and learn a hold, learn a recovery, learn what these things mean as it relates to pro submersion, breath control swim lessons. Because yeah, there's steps on either side for sure.
It's funny you say that because I remember the first class that Matt did, or like outside, or the first time we were outside of lessons, and I was like doing the 1, 2, 3, like how we would have him swim underwater to the instructor. I was having,
Mm-hmm.
James swim underwater to
Mm-hmm.
and my husband was like afraid almost because he
Of
hadn't been,
course.
he didn't get it. Like, what do you mean? Like, and he would almost like keep holding him and not, and I'm like, no, he's fine, let him go.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I get what you're saying. Yeah, because when you're outside of the school and you're outside of that class in the real world, I want them to be able to. So I
Mm-hmm.
totally can relate to that because I remember that. Now he's fine and gets it. No,
Right. Right.
I
Yeah.
totally get
Yeah,
that.
it can be hard to see. It can be hard to see step three when you haven't seen step one and two, and
Right,
even though three is going well, it's like, oh,
right. If you
but
haven't done it with them,
sure,
right,
sure,
or even really seen it. So yeah, no, that's funny you mentioned that because I never thought of it until he was, in there.
right.
So,
You lived it.
all right. So now, kind of taking it out of swimming lessons and being
Okay.
in the real world, whether, like I said, where you, well, actually, we kind of go to all three because we spend a lot of time at the beach in the summer, but then my in-laws are on the lake, my sister-in-law has the pool, so we're kind of in all bodies of water. But taking it outside of the swimming lesson setting where you're very enclosed, everything's the same depth, you have an instructor there.
Mm-hmm.
I know floaties are like a big topic, water wings,
Sure. Yep.
all that. So personally, my kids don't wear them. I
Mm-hmm.
know that I have gotten skepticism, looks, stuff like that. And I know now there's like 20 different types other than like the little blow them up on your
Oh,
arm. But
yeah.
what is your opinion on floaties and that stuff?
What a great question. Right. My opinion on that is that it seems so simple to me, but the safest swimmer is a swimmer that's in the water with an adult. It is that simple. So not that I am anti-floaty or would tell anybody to go against any like Coast Guard approved device or anything that or follow any break any law, right? The safest swimmer is a swimmer that's in whatever body of water with an adult. So that being said, you don't need floaties in that situation because you're in the water with an adult. So I am a huge proponent of no floaties. We don't we don't have flotation devices in our pools here. At the swim school location. When I also don't encourage them out and about, right? Get if you're able to get in the water with your child, have someone in the water swimming with your child. And I know that's not always possible, right? So let's say you do have to choose something, right? I always say the same thing: find something that's Coast Guard approved, right? A lot of them, the reasons we don't like them is because it gets rid of the horizontal body position that you're trying to teach in swim lessons. So it's just kind of doing more harm than good. Not that they're bad, right? They definitely can help. They definitely should be worn at times when it's, like we talked about it last time I saw you in earlier, like on a boat, like, yeah, you're putting your kid in a life jacket. Yeah, absolutely. Right. But we encourage early intervention with submersions, right? And adults in the water with the kids. So not really anti-floaty movement, which it probably sounds like. That's what you were saying.
Right.
That's why
No,
there's
I
all
mean,
the
I get it.
skepticism
Like,
there. But no, we encourage you to be in the water, take a class, like get comfortable yourself, so your student can be comfortable and they'll be independent before you know it.
right, right. Yeah, like I said, always a life jacket on the boat. Sometimes, we're in the lake, it's a
Of
big
course.
water, but yeah, other than that, I mean, one of us is usually in
Yeah.
the water. Thankfully, my nieces
Mhm.
and nephews, even in the pool now, they're old enough that they'll like do it. So I don't
Love
always
that.
have to be there, which is nice.
Yep.
But cool. So that kind of wraps up like the specific questions I have for you.
Cool.
I just kind of want to leave it a little bit open ended on yours or any other like major water safety tips you have. I know that you guys have gone out to like schools or different activities and talked about
Yeah.
water safety, which is super cool. I've never like seen one of those presentations, but is there something that I missed or that you think is like a super important topic to or tip to get out to parents out there?
A couple things. No, you didn't miss much. You're asking the really good questions for sure. I appreciate it. Second, I've never related more. Like I hear your babies in the background, make me think of my babies. You know what I mean? Like that's what it's all about. Um, for me, the big takeaway for the water safety presentation, and that's exactly where my mind went. Like, not that you missed it, because I think we touched on it, and it's probably seemingly obvious. But we always talk about the ABCs, right? A is adults. Adults. A child should be accompanied by an adult. We give the highway talk here. I won't go into it, but it's like we equate the water to a highway, right? You're not letting the kid play by themselves by the highway. You're gonna hang with the kid. So adults is always first, and then barriers, right? Simple things. Make sure the gate is locked behind you. Make sure if your kid is someone who likes to climb, make sure they're not climbing the pool fence, right? It seems so simple. Make sure things are shut, all the hinges are
Have you met
good.
my
When you
kids?
check everything, I'm giving universal advice. I'm not speaking specifically to you, all right? But I'm just saying, right? Like, if you have kids that like to be a kid, then yeah, check the gates, check the fences. It should be part of the protocol when you're opening things. And then C's classes, right? Like for the parent, for the kid, get them into some classes, start learning some techniques. Any technique doesn't have to be our technique. There's a lot of good techniques. Introduce them to water early, and they'll be a little mermaid before you know it. You know what I mean?
Cool. Cool. I almost forgot. Not that I forgot the ABCs, but we just don't hear it now that I'm not in the water with them.
Right.
So
Yep.
I
Yep.
used to be able to give those speeches
I'm saying.
myself. I remember like we had a new instructor one time that was trying to remember, and I was like, "Oh, always." So no.
Yeah.
um, awesome. Well, again, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I've been
Thank
like
you.
wanting to get this out forever, just because like I mean, my kids are always in the water. I like totally,
That's
me,
facts.
like pro swimming lessons, pro
Hmm.
Aqua-Tots all the time. You
Yeah.
guys have been amazing, and seeing just James's progress and being able, because I am not getting in the water again. Sorry, not sorry, but being able to take the things that I learned in those early class levels with James and bring them to William and even Anna at such a
Yeah.
young age. It has been a game changer for our family. So I am so
Thanks, Joe.
grateful for this, and I am so grateful that now we can kind of hopefully expand this to an even greater audience.
Definitely.
So,
Thank you. That means the world. You are, one of our OGs. We're fortunate in Norwood to be open for 3 years, and we just opened a new one. And because of families like you that believed in us. You know what I mean? So thank you. It means the world. Like, it's cool that we've created a community within a community too, to be able to do stuff like this. So, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm excited for this to come out.
awesome. Yeah. Well, I will have this out. I know our listeners have been like eagerly awaiting a water safety class. This is something that I've been like I said, I've talked about with people. So
Cool.
I will get this out, and yeah, we'll go from there. But I'm so excited. Thank
Cool.
you again for
Thanks.
doing this.
You're welcome.
One of my boys running around naked, so I got to figure out what's
Have
going
fun.
on.
See you next week.
Mom life. We will see you next
Bye.
swim. But
Peace.
have a good one, Tyler. Thank
You
you.
too. Bye, Jill.
Bye. Thank you guys for listening. I hope that you enjoyed listening to that episode as much as I enjoyed putting it out there. It was so great to be able to hop on with Tyler to chat about all the important things of water safety and swimming lessons because, like I've mentioned time and time again, it is something that I think is so important and something that is so near and dear to me. So thank you for jumping on and listening to us, and hope you have a great rest of your week. We'll catch you on Monday for our Monday mini-sode, and then we'll be back again next Thursday. Have a good one. Be sure to like, follow, and share this podcast. And if you aren't already doing so, follow us on Instagram at Organized Chaos with Jill. We'll have all the latest updates, upcoming episodes, and more. Have a good day. The best is yet to come.